imagine a drone that folds up and fits inside your jersey pocket, can follow you automatically, shoot in 4K HDR and all that jazz. Well, you don't have to imagine anymore. This is the HOVERAir X1. Now, last year we had the regular HOVERAir X1, which I reviewed on the channel and loved. But the main problems with that camera was the image quality wasn't quite there. I think it was like 2.7K. And the second problem was its speed. It could only do about 25Ks, which was good for climbing, but not good for the flats. Now with the HOVERAir X1 Pro and Pro Max, that speed limit has gone to 40Ks an hour. So I'm doing 30Ks an hour here, and it's in side follow mode, which means it'll just stay behind me. But in regular follow mode, it keeps up with you at 40Ks an hour, no problem whatsoever. So in this video, I'm going to be telling you all about the HOVERAir X1 Pro Max, what it is, what it can do, what it can't do, all that stuff. So yeah, let's check it out.
So in that intro there, you really got an idea of just what this thing can do. I've only had it for like 5-6 days now, taking it on 3 or 4 rides. I'm looking forward to taking it to some more places with some more better lighting and interesting scenery, so stay tuned for that. Video isn't going to be the full review, that will be coming later once I've had some more time with this thing. This thing is just like my initial thoughts and impressions and some of the key stats for you guys to look at. Also bear in mind that the hardware and the firmware that I'm using is all alpha, beta stuff, so it will only get better as updates come on. So this is the HOVERAir X1 Pro Max. It has a little brother called just the Pro, but this one, the big brother, a 8K sensor in here spitting out 4K footage. The details of the video codecs, the 10-bit, the HDR, all that stuff I'll leave in the main review, but needless to say, this is a stupidly powerful camera in here. Now, one of the biggest problems with the old camera, this one here, was that its top speed was limited to like 25-27Ks an hour. As soon as you got up to that speed, it kind of couldn't keep up with you anymore and just stopped following you. That was good for maybe climbing, but obviously on the flats, as road is, we're all doing like 30-35Ks an hour. So let's see what kind of speeds the new one can do.
Okay, so this test, a max speed test. I'm just going to slowly ramp up the speed and see when we lose them. I'll try to stay on this white line so we can see how it's tracking us as well. Okay, 18Ks an hour. 25Ks an hour. 30Ks an hour. Are these people going to look? Of course not. 35, 40, 43, 45, 46, 47. I think he's given up. $47Ks an hour. We broke the elastic. Oh, that wasn't easy though. Has he caught me again? Is he tracking me? Yeah. So yeah, if he does lose his tracking, he'll kind of just hover there and wait for you, it looks like. We have 47Ks an hour to lose the elastic. Phew! I lost my elastic.
So as you saw in that video, this thing can keep up with you like 45, 46Ks an hour. The official speed is 42Ks an hour. But one thing that you're very aware of when you're hammering at that speed, and this is hammering behind you, is basically while this thing is very light and it does have obstacle avoidance, if this does hit someone going 40Ks an hour in the face or whatever, that's gonna hurt. So yeah, follow all your local rules and regulations about flying this around other people, because while it is smart, it's not foolproof. So yeah, it has 3 height modes when it's following you, low, medium, or high basically. If I think there's any risk of other people being around, I'll set it to high mode, and that way it's going to be going over people's heads anyway. So yeah, as the old Spider-Man saying goes, with great power comes great responsibility. So yeah, 40 km an hour is great, but just beware, you're towing this around at 40 km an hour, so be responsible. Now, when Hover launched this on their Indiegogo and I saw all the stats and I was blown away, the one thing niggling at the back of my mind was, is it still pocket size though? Because this is the original, and you could see in the stats it's got a little bit bigger than the original now, but I'm happy to report it does still fit in your jersey pocket. That was a make or break for me. If this didn't fit in my jersey pocket, it was dead on arrival as far as I'm concerned. Now, I wear XS jerseys, and usually jersey pocket sizes also scale with the size of the jersey, but this even fits in my skin suit. So I'll put in some footage here. The other day I went for a ride with this, a total of like 4 batteries, my phone, all that sorts of stuff, all in my skin suit. My skin suit only has 2 pockets, so yeah, it's still super travelable. If you're not a super lightweight, weight-weenie roadie, they do have this like handlebar bag or like top tube bag where you can put the unit in and some other stuff. I'll do the accessories coverage in the next video. But the thing I liked about this is I could just put this in my pocket, put a few batteries in my pocket, and just go riding, you know. When I'm getting footage, I don't want it to be obvious that I'm getting footage. I don't want a bag on my bike or anything. So that was a key requirement for the new one for me. And yeah, happy to report this still sits in my jersey pocket. Obviously, it has gotten bigger. So we got a little bit bigger than the old one, and it has got heavier, but still, I think it's worth it for the speed upgrade. I think it's worth it for the camera upgrade, and it still does fit in your jersey pocket. But obviously, as these things get heavier, as they get faster, as they get more powerful, the battery life thing also goes totally out the window now. So battery life, is it as good as before? Is it not? I wanted to test. I think the claimed battery life is like 16 minutes of flight time. So I wanted to do some testing, what that felt like in the real world. So I set it to follow mode, riding at 30 km an hour. And yeah, this is what happened.
Okay, so for this test, I'm going to try it in follow mode. So got it set to follow me, medium distance, high altitude, and I'm going to stick to around 25-30 km an hour, and we'll see how long it follows me, either before it loses tracking or runs out of battery. So one thing HOVERair X1 are going to bring out is their beacon, which you'll be able to strap on your bike and then see what it can see. But then also the drone can use the beacon to trace you if it loses you visually. That will add some reassurance, because at the moment I'm just stuck listening to the drone, and if I hear it stop making a noise, then I know it might be in trouble or whatever. I could connect my phone to the drone and see what it sees like that, but for now, phone isn't connected, it's just visually tracking me, and we'll see how we get on. It's pretty windy today. Obviously the beach is right next to me down there. Always get a strong wind coming in off the beach. But yeah, you know, we want to test it in the hardest conditions we can. Exactly 30 km an hour, 120 watts, and we're going for 2 minutes. Okay, we're at the 3-minute mark now. Not a challenge, everything going smoothly. Pretty hot day. Don't know if that affects battery life, but yeah, we'll see. Okay, we're 4 minutes in now. So this environment, the wind is a bit of a challenge for the drone, but in terms of obstacles to hit, this road's perfect. So I also don't have to worry about flying over people, breaking any rules or being naughty like that. The drone is only like sub 200 grams, so in most places you don't need a license, etc. But yeah, check the government laws and regulations where you are. 5 minutes in now, so I think we're doing good. I do hear the drone going wishy-washy, wishy-washy sometimes. This is like beta firmware that I've got on here, and it does sometimes seem to get into a bit of a feedback loop, I guess you'd call it, where it goes left, right, overcompensating for itself. But this is all stuff that the guys know about and are working on, so yeah, this will all get better with firmware updates going forwards. 6 minutes in now. Also, the Garmin says 39 degrees Celsius right now, so I am cooking. The new only comes in black, so I guess it's cooking too. I wish they still had the white option from before. Number one, well, the main reason is just so if you do lose it, because you are going to lose something like this in the bushes at some point, then white or a bright color is a lot easier to find than black. Also, if I am riding pretty fast and I want to quickly look over my shoulder to see if it's still there, then it's a lot easier to see if it's brighter colored. 7 minutes in now, done about 3 kilometers. Again, I've got no idea what the battery life is, but when it gets low battery, it'll land itself, so don't have to worry about it falling out the sky. 8 minutes in now. So these drones are just like us cyclists. To get more speed, the power goes up cubed. So you want to double your power, you want to double your speed, you need to quadruple your power. So me making it do 30 the whole time, it's getting a good workout, rest assured, and getting less battery life. But this is the kind of speed people are going to ride at the road, so yeah, let's test it. I will say this wind is a big headwind, which is probably also not working in its favor, but let's see where we get to. Oh, I think, has he lost my tracking or is he out of battery? Let's go have a look. Yep, low battery I think. Is it low battery? Let's have a look, see if it takes off again.
Standard, follow.
Not quite sure what happened then. I thought it was out of battery, but apparently not, because it's taken off again. So my Garmin paused at 9 minutes, so we'll keep going. Again, not sure what happened just. I don't know if it lost the tracking when I went through the tunnel or whatever, but let's see. We're at 9.5 minutes now, so let's keep going. Ten minutes now, still behind me. I'm doing 31 k's an hour. $11 minutes in now, I'm actually running out of road, so do a U-turn. $12 minutes in, 12 minutes of flight time on one battery. And he's done, I think. Yep, he says low battery. But a good job, about 12 minutes. Well, the Garmin says 12 minutes, 30 seconds, but there's a few seconds where we're on the ground and stuff, so let's say, yeah, we'll be generous and say 12 minutes.
So yeah, I think that distance is super impressive. Obviously, you know, you don't want to record a whole race or something, but if you're going for a short segment or if you're just going for a shot of you riding through some interesting landscape, that is more than enough, especially at 30 k's an hour. Follow for 5 kilometers with it, I think is more than enough for most people. Any more and the batteries would start getting super heavy, and then it defeats the point of this being portable and pocket sized or whatever. So yeah, super cool. One thing I'm sure you noticed in that footage is that when it is following at high speed, it kind of goes left, right behind you. That's kind of like a bug in this version of the firmware, and it is something that they're working on. Yeah, a fix it will be coming soon, so yeah, just bear that in mind. Now, another thing, as I said, now that this thing is faster, I think obstacle avoidance is now more important. So the old one, it only had its camera to rely on, no other sensors. Now on the new one, so we still have the camera, which is upgraded from before, and now the processing, it can see what it's seeing better too. But on the Pro Max version, we also have a camera and a time of flight sensor on the back as well. So if it's in dolly track mode, where it follows you from your front, in theory, it can see what's coming up behind it and won't smash into things either. We've also got a bunch of sensors on the bottom, so it knows its height. So if the ground does go up, it will go up with it. So all that is all good too. I wanted to see just how good this front camera was at avoiding things, so I got it to follow me and slam on the brakes, and yeah, this is what happened.
Okay, so the last thing I want to test now, this time I've got to set it follow me at my height. I'm going to try and get up to speed, slam on the brakes, and see what it does. Will it roll into me? Will it lose the tracking? Let's find out. So let's get up to like 35 k's an hour. 32. 33, 35, and emergency stop. Well, he didn't hit me, but I definitely felt his wind. Let's also try some tight U-turns at speed. This track's going to look a bit wild on Strava. I'm not drunk. Let's try a slalom test. Did you make it? You're with me. I don't know how you did that, but yeah, fair play.
Okay, yeah, so it looks like the obstacle avoidance is working. Like I say, as your speeds get faster and faster, that stopping distance gets longer and longer, so you have to be responsible. One thing it does have is the sidetrack mode, where it'll just follow you to the side like this. Now, obviously in the sidetrack mode, it has no side sensors, so it's all on you. It can't see where it's going because it's looking at you, and it has no sensors to see what's there either, so you've got to be really aware of your surroundings. When I was in the side follow mode, going down a gravel road, there were a few times where it hit trees and fell out the air, but this thing, like its little brother before, is designed to be durable. You know, they know it's going to crash, they know you're going to whack it into things, and they build it tough as such. So yeah, I've crashed this one maybe 3 or 4 times at this point, and yeah, still going strong and not a single scratch or anything on it. So yeah, I will keep destruction testing it as much as it hurts me, but yeah, I'll try find the limits of it. Basically, that's what we're going to do in the next video. One other important upgrade over the old one. So the old one was pretty dumb in terms of knowing where it was. It only had these little cameras pointing down to know where it was. The problem with that is if you went over snow or if you went over water, the water surface is moving, it thinks it's not moving, actually it's going with the water. So you'd get yourself into trouble if this thing ever went over water. They fixed that with a new one with a system they're calling Omniterrain. How exactly it works is a bit of a black box, bit of a mystery behind there, but in my opinion, it's some mix of those cameras and other sensors. Whether that's GPS-ish sensors or whatever, we don't know. But what it does mean is this can now go over water, this can now go over snow, yeah, with what they're calling the Omniterrain. When you turn it on, there's a little logo on the screen before you fly, and basically if that logo is there, it means it's ready, and yeah, you can fly in all those situations. So that's a big upgrade, that's a big peace of mind, because this thing, whenever you went near water, you started to sweat. So why am I doing this first impressions video? Why aren't I just waiting to do a full review? The reason is this thing is on Indiegogo right now, but there's only like 10 or so days left. And on Indiegogo, they have some packages, some early bird packages and stuff, and those are selling out. And every time one sells out, the price goes up a little bit as well. So yeah, I wanted to get this video done early so you guys could go and grab it while it's on Indiegogo and get yourself the reduced price. So at the moment, on Indiegogo, the little brother to this, the regular Pro, I think is $429 US on there. And this one, the Pro Max with all of the bells and whistles, I think this one is on there for like $629 US at the moment. So yeah, go check that one out. As for pricing, how do I feel about pricing? Obviously it is a bit more expensive than the old one, but you're getting a lot more than the old one. I think the upgrades are obvious for everyone to see, but the biggest upgrades for me are the flight, the power of the motors, and also the camera. So this camera was basically just a single axis gimbal. Now we've got a dual axis gimbal, and the camera in here is a power horse. Like, I wish there was a way just to film with this when it's not flying, because the camera is that good. There is so much to cover with this, like all the different modes it can do, all of the accessories they brought out for it. There's one cool accessory called the beacon, and basically you put it on your bike, on your handlebar. It's a small screen so you can see what it's doing, you can see what it can see, so you don't have to keep looking over your shoulder to see if it's still there. And also, if it does lose track of you and it can't see anymore, it knows where the beacon is. And so basically you can just fly towards the beacon until it sees you. So that's really cool. I'm looking forward to do some testing with that. I'm going to put all of this stuff in the upcoming video, the next video as it were. I think that'll take me about 2 or 3 weeks to get done, because like I say, there is just so much to get done. So make sure you do subscribe to the channel and hit that bell notification so when I do upload that video, you do see it. But in general, I'm blown away. Like I said, if you do want to get one, use the link down below to go over to Indiegogo. And yeah, like the first X people to use that link to go to Indiegogo will still have the early bird package or whatever and get some money off. So yeah, do use the link below to check it out. But do let me know in the comments down below what you want to see in the final review video. What else do you want me to test on this thing? Where do you want me to take it? How do I push it to its limits? You guys let me know. If you did like this video, then I think you'll want to check out this video next. And if you haven't been on my channel before, go through my back catalog and see all my stuff. Mostly reviewing bike stuff, but also reviewing all this camera tech and nerdy stuff like that. So yeah, check it out.